Hey, YouTube community, sending love, wanting to share a message here of many things that are coming up. One of them is that life can be very difficult, and sometimes we don't change until something in our life forces us to change. For instance, when I was 21 years old, I went to my first Alcoholics Anonymous meeting and basically drove myself to a point of like something has to change or else I'm not going to make it through. And the difficulties of life are actually the greatest gifts. Forget what Dr. Joe says, something along those lines of like challenges are disguised as great opportunities. I wrote the quote down somewhere. Um, and that everything can be made into a gift if we so choose to turn it into a gift and to utilize a situation, a person, a place, a thing, whatever it is, as a catalyst and as a message to grow in a specific area of life. So, something for me that has come up is in relationship, I thought that I was more ahead or I was more transcendent of something than I actually was, and my actions proved to me that I still have a lot of. This is where the words get funny. I still have a lot of ways I need to be more gentle and more loving. And that life wasn't designed to be easy, at least in this realm here. And we receive a lot of important lessons, whether you choose to pass that lesson or not. And we could say that the way that you pass the lessons is true forgiveness, but it's also deeper than that, in the sense of when things get revealed to you where we step out of love, where we go into aggression or defensiveness, we've stepped out of love in that moment, and that is an extremely important moment for us to look at ourselves and take seriously what just happened and to take inventory and to love life enough to become a more loving human being. I've learned a lot throughout the week in the sense of humility and just stopping, pausing, taking a breather, and creating a space to actually feel and to look at myself and to see how I can improve as a being of love. And yeah, the point is just to really look at yourself when we act out of love, and to take it seriously in the sense of like really wanting to be better. And so, I mean, there's so many things that I've learned, but you don't just learn something. I don't know if it's that easy. You have to consistently practice it and apply it into your life when situations arise. And the way that we respond will then show us that we've actually learnt, or we've actually integrated this aspect of our infinitely fractalized being. And also that there is no goal to life. There is no goal to spirituality or anything like that. That is a future imagined illusion that there is a goal to reach. A great master, Ramana Maharshi, said that the I am is the path and the I am is also the goal. The I am is the path and the I am is the goal. And I believe another great master, Nisargadatta Maharaj, once said, I love both of these beings dearly. And he said something along the lines of, there's no goal to be reached. Like the ecstasy of being on the path, just being as you are, is the goal of life, is to be here now fully in this moment with everything that it has for us. I'm going to find that quote. 1 second. Here we go. So, once you realize that the road is the goal and that you are always on the road, not to reach a goal, but to enjoy its beauty and its wisdom, life ceases to be a task and becomes natural and simple, in itself in ecstasy. So the I am, our awareness, our consciousness, our real self, what we really are, will eternally be simultaneously the goal and the path. And that's really important to understand within your heart. And that we're not supposed to be perfect. That's why we have forgiveness. And we learn and receive catalyst through our quote unquote imperfections. And so that's a great gift. as Ram Dass has said, that suffering is grace. And when you realize that suffering is grace, you feel like you're cheating. Because it's a dissolving of who we think we are. And that, in a sense, is the suffering, but simultaneously it's the grace. So that suffering, that imperfection, and that grace, that perfection, are coexisting together. And that in creation, we're slowly and steadily, as the form, as the manifestation, reaching higher and higher towards that 0 point of perfection. But we never reach it. And yet that 0 point of perfection, that I am, that silence, is actually what is the unmanifest creation that is allowing and giving life and animating this, in a sense, this eternal return back to the source. But we are the source in this now moment, as the reality, the unchanging awareness. And so once we actually realize that existence, that consciousness is always there, it's always what we are, it's the screen of consciousness that all of the images, all of the manifestations, all of the forms are appearing in and then dissolving in. And yet what remains is this total, perfect, silent space. And so it's a great gift to receive that. And all beings receive that at some point. But we are all that now, it's just whether we're aware of it or not. And so it's a funny dance between the form and the formless, and this human being, which I am, where the beingness is the perfection, the unchanging, and the human, this character, is forever changing with every thought. And so if I take myself to be those changing thoughts, then I won't ever accept that I am already that perfect, pristine beingness. And so that's what these teachings are about, of constantly just witnessing a thought. I see that. And then it's gone. And yet there's this presence that remains. you just get curious about your true nature. And yet, life is constantly throwing things at me where I forget, or it feels like I forget that beingness at times. And that's the gift, is because that life loves me so much that it's giving me the thing that I need to look at. That when I'm just in my beingness, I'm like, oh, everything is perfect. And that's true in that moment. But if I dedicate my life to living in truth and in service and in love and in harmony, everything that is unlike that will come up to be looked at, to be felt, to be seen. And so we have masters like Yogananda or Ramana Maharshi, where they said that suffering is the quickest way to the realization of God. And that's baffling. Why would it be designed that way? What an awful God, creator, made it where we have to suffer our way to him or to her, or however you choose to call this creator. And so may we all see that suffering is grace. And that we honor our emotions when they come up, and we feel them and we allow them. And we don't go into this immediate, oh, it's not real, so I'm just not going to pay attention to it. Your emotions are telling you something. And it's important to listen. And I'm not saying that we need to identify with them. We can remain as the witness as this dream is unfolding. But it's important to feel, to listen, and to understand what these emotions are telling us. And in fact, that is a very spiritual state. And that all of this is spirit. Nobody is more spiritual than anybody else. We're all equally of the spirit. And that is true unity consciousness, is to see equality in all beings. And to see with the single eye, to see with the eye of awareness. And that is the heart. So when we live from that, when we see from that, when we move and take action from that place, we know that we're acting from the highest place, because we are all in alignment. And you can never be out of alignment, because the thought, what we call the ego, that thinks it can be out of alignment, it's just not real. And what is real is this one reality, this beingness that we all share, and that is all of our real selves. And that's why we are all the same. And that's why we are all one family. And it's one thing to theoretically see that and to get that and to feel, oh yeah, that sounds good. But to live embodied in that state of being at all times is the true miracle of life. So there's always a new moment to choose love, to choose humility, to forgive, to repent, and to pray, to be humbled by life itself. And this is the only way I feel to live. And so I will continue to the best of my ability to live here and to give from here and to serve from here. The unknown is a very scary place to the mind.